Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Make Happiness Happen podcast. I'm your host, Shelly, and I am really glad that you're here with me today because we are talking about something that we all need more of, fun and laughter. Now, let me ask you, when was the last time that you laughed so hard that you had tears in your eyes? You know that deep belly laugh, like when you're gasping for air and your face hurts because you're smiling so much? Well, I can still remember times when my sister and I were little, and we would get into those uncontrollable laughing fits. I don't even remember what we were laughing about, but we just couldn't stop. One of us would try to talk, and then that would set the other one off, and before you knew it, we were both laughing so hard we could barely breathe. And the best part? I still feel the joy from those moments. Those feelings, they've lasted my entire life. Now, there's a reason that people say laughter is the best medicine. It's not just some cute phrase, it's actually science. And today we're going to dive into why laughter and playfulness are so important for our well-being, how they can help us feel more optimistic, and simple ways that you can bring more joy into your everyday life. So, grab your favorite beverage, get comfy, and let's jump in. Let's start by talking about why laughter is so powerful.
I'm Shelly Covert.
Now, when you laugh, your body does some
tired of
pretty
putting
amazing
on a
things.
fake smile?
It actually reduces stress hormones like cortisol.
Are you ready to stop
that
chasing
nasty little
happiness and
chemical that
create it
makes you
instead?
feel tense and
This
overwhelmed?
world we live in
And
makes us believe
instead,
we need
laughter
something
releases
newer or bigger
endorphins.
or better to
Those
be
are the
happy.
good feel
But guess what?
chemicals that
That's
boost your
not
mood,
real
and they can even
happiness.
help relieve
I'm
pain.
going to teach you what
Now, it
I've
also
learned about
increases
creating
oxygen
real,
flow in
authentic
your body,
happiness.
which can give
So
you a
if you're
burst of
ready to
energy
stop
and help
faking
you
it
feel
be
more
happy
awake
for real,
and alive.
you're in the right
Have you
place.
ever noticed
This
that
is the
after a
Make
really
Happiness
good
Happen
laugh,
podcast.
you just feel better? You feel lighter, happier, and more connected to the people around you. Now, here's something really interesting. Laughter actually strengthens your immune system. That means that finding ways to laugh and have fun, it's not just good for your mood, it's good for your health. So if you've been feeling overwhelmed or stuck, or you're just kind of in a funk lately, maybe what you really need isn't another cup of coffee or things to cross off that to-do list. Maybe you just need to laugh. So now that we know that laughter is good for us, the question becomes, how do we bring more of it into our daily lives? Well, here's the good news. You don't have to just sit and wait for something funny to just happen, right? You can actually be intentional about adding more fun and laughter into your day. Here are some of my favorite simple ideas. All right, if you have a pet, play with your pet. Right? If you have a dog or a cat, you already know that they can be absolutely hilarious. Now, whether it's your dog chasing their tail or your cat suddenly deciding to chase that invisible bug that always seems to be flying around the living room, animals just have a way of making us laugh. One of my cats, when we stand and talk when I get home from work at night and I'm talking to my husband, the way that the light shadows from my hands reflect on the wall, every single time he is jumping at the wall. And no matter how we're feeling, it just makes us laugh. So just spending a few minutes watching our pets can really lift up our mood. Now, if you don't have a pet, guess what? There's funny pet videos. Raise your hand if you have ever watched a funny cat or dog or just animal video in general. I don't know. Some of my favorites are those montage ones that are floating around like TikTok or Instagram or wherever. You know, you can just find those videos of animals doing silly things and it just cracks you up. Now, I'm going to be honest, some of my favorite videos too are the ones that I record of my cats chasing those invisible bugs that are always flying around. But whatever it is, just watching a funny video, and it doesn't have to be an animal video, but some kind of video that makes you laugh, a funny video, you really can just feel the tension start to melt away. Okay, so another idea is just finding humor in everyday life. Pay attention to the little things that make you smile. Maybe it's a funny text from a friend, or maybe it's a silly mistake that you made that you can laugh about now, or a random conversation that just kind of turned into something hilarious. There is humor in our everyday life. If you just watch the squirrels run around, sometimes you can just see funny things that happen and things that make you smile and make you laugh. Now, maybe there is a funny movie or a TV show that you really like. If you haven't laughed in a while, it could be the perfect time to put on that favorite funny movie or that TV show. Okay, so one of my favorites, my husband and I used to watch The Big Bang Theory, and it was one of our favorite shows, made us laugh. But the best episode, there was a Christmas episode one year, and Penny gave Sheldon a napkin that had been signed by Leonard Nimoy. And she apologizes because the napkin was dirty and Leonard Nimoy had wiped his mouth on the napkin. And she thought that was a bad thing. But if you have seen the episode or you're a fan of that show, you know that that made all the difference to Sheldon. And that became the funniest scene I have ever seen. And I even just now can laugh just thinking of it. I don't know, it was absolutely hilarious. So that's a funny TV show. And even just remembering that can make me smile and make me laugh. Now, you could also try telling a joke or sharing a funny story. Have you ever just called up a friend or a family member just to tell them a joke? And you don't have to be a comedian. Sometimes that makes it even funnier because the punchlines don't always hit the way you want them to, right? That actually happens to me quite often. I have to say, that was a joke. You're supposed to laugh, which then makes us laugh. But here's the important thing. It still makes my husband and I laugh. And that is the key, the laughter. Right? Maybe do something playful. Maybe it's just dancing around the kitchen while you're making dinner, or playing a lighthearted game, or just letting yourself be silly for a minute. Now, I know when my daughter was little, I was much better at that. I was always trying to be silly or trying to make her laugh or smile. What if we kept that lightheartedness even when our kids are grown up? What if we just kind of let that childhood nature come out every once in a while and we just did something playful? We just had fun. So those are just some of my simple ideas. Now it is your turn. I want you to think for a moment. When was the last time that you felt pure, unfiltered joy? Maybe it was laughing with a friend or playing with your kids or watching something funny. Take a second and just remember how that felt. Feel that feeling again. Kind of describe it to yourself. Think about it. Really focus on that feeling. That's the feeling that we are working to bring back. Now, before we wrap up this episode, I want to take a few minutes and talk about the right kind of laughter. Okay? Because there is a huge difference between laughing with somebody and laughing at somebody. Laughter should bring people together, not tear people down. Okay, so we are not talking about making fun of people. We're not talking about telling mean-spirited jokes, nothing like that. We are talking about the kind of laughter that makes you feel connected, the kind of laughter and fun that strengthens your relationships, strengthens your friendships. It's the kind that fills your heart with joy, and it makes everybody involved feel that joy. Okay, so that is the key. If you are laughing at something that is hurting someone else or making somebody else feel worse, that is not what we are talking about here. So how do we make this happen? How do we share this love and this joy and this laughter with everyone around us? Well, first off, surround yourself with people who make you laugh in a kind way. People who you have fun with. People who you can share jokes with and tell funny stories to, and you laugh at the same kinds of movies and things like that, right? So surround yourself with those people who have those same morals and values that you do. It all ties together. Find humor in situations, not at the expense of others. For me, there's a lot of times where maybe I'm walking and I trip over some invisible rock and it's non-existent, and I can laugh at myself in that. It's just something funny. Maybe I say something and it comes out wrong, or I do something and it's just kind of silly, right? Be able to laugh at yourself. Find humor in those situations and share that with others. If you do something, one day and you're just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. Share that with other friends if it's something silly, something that's going to make everybody laugh. Create inside jokes with your friends and family. Those can be little moments that kind of bring you closer. Maybe it's, like with my sister, it's remembering those times when we just would laugh and laugh and laugh, or remembering things that we did when we were little that brought happiness to us and made us laugh. Share some of those. Have those kind of jokes that you can share with friends and family. And then focus on doing things that are playful and lighthearted with the people that you love. It could be a funny game night. You could start some silly traditions. You could just be goofy together. You could tell jokes. You could just, whatever it is, something that you find fun and playful and lighthearted, something that you're doing just for the joy of it. Now, the goal isn't to laugh more, but it's to laugh in a way that makes your life richer, right? That brings you closer to the people that you care about. It enriches those relationships. It strengthens those friendships, those types of things. All right, so are you ready for your challenge for the week? First off, I want you to reflect on a time when you felt that pure, joyful laughter. Okay, we talked about that just a little bit ago, so maybe that's, the moment you're reflecting on, but maybe there's something else too. Take some time. This is what I love about journaling. Kind of take some time and write those little stories down. What were you doing? Who were you with? Close your eyes and picture it as if it's a movie that you're describing in your mind. One thing that I have tried to do is I kind of call them my stories. And I think this would be something that, down the road, if I have grandkids or if I, write a book or something like that, share, those stories with others, I had kind of thought it would be fun to just start reflecting on the memories that I have from my life and writing those down as if I was telling those stories to someone else. It's almost like an oral history that I'm writing down. What would I want to share with the next generation? So think back to a time or two that you felt pure joy and laughter, and write that story down. Have a journal, just call it your joy journal, and write those stories down, write those situations down and reflect on them. Okay. So that's the first time. Find a time where you felt pure joy and laughter, pure joyful laughter. Now, make a plan to invite more laughter into your week. Okay, so you looked at that first situation. What are you doing? Is that something that you could do again? Is it that there's one movie that every time you watch it, you just are rolling on the floor laughing? Okay, or could it be calling a friend who you just know the two of you can joke together and it just always makes each other laugh? Maybe there's just some activity that you want to do, whatever it was, and reflecting on those situations in your past might help you figure out what it is. But kind of schedule your laugh time, schedule your fun. I know it's sad to say we have to schedule it, but we really do need to make time in our life for those things that are important. And this is something that is very important. So schedule and make a plan to do something this week that brings more laughter and fun and joy into your life. And then be intentional about bringing joy into your daily life. Okay, because I'll tell you what, life is serious enough, right? We don't need to add more seriousness. We need to add more lightness and joy and fun and happiness and all of those positive feelings. We want to add those into our life so that they reflect out to the others that are around us. Because if we do this together, we can actually make this a happier place, right? We can make this world a better place. And we can do that by kind of just being this light and being this example. People can tell when they look at you, they can feel your energy. They can tell if you're happy or if you're sad or if you're mad, and so let's focus on spreading that happy energy, that lighthearted, fun energy, right? Let's make room for fun every single day. Now, because at the end of the day, that really is what life is about, right? It's not just about checking things off of a to-do list. It's about enjoying the ride. It's about finding things in life that make you happy and doing those things. And I also want to just expand on this, that, we're not talking about a selfish, self-focused type of happiness here. Yes, we want to find the things that we enjoy, but not in a selfish way. Okay. Because a lot of times, some of the things that bring the most happiness is when we are involving others and we're doing things for others and we're focused on others. And so just really have that be your plan, be intentional about that. So yes, you want to bring joy into your daily life, but we're bringing joy into our life so that we can share it with others, because that's what this is all about. It is about living this life in a way that just makes it better for everybody, I guess. I don't know how else to put that in words. So that's kind of my thought for the day. All right. Thank you again. I just want to thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoy these podcasts. I really would love to hear from you. And a couple of ways you can join our Happiness Vibe Tribe over on Facebook and share your thoughts that way. Or you always are welcome to tag me on Instagram or email me. If you go to the description for this episode, all of my contact info is there. And I would just love to hear from you. Maybe share your joy stories, share your laughter stories. I think that would be great. I I love to just kind of read and hear how these podcast episodes are impacting you. And I would just love to have you share some of those experiences with me. So if this episode brought you a little bit of joy today, then just please take a second to subscribe if you haven't already, and feel free to leave a review. And most importantly, share this with a friend who could use a little laughter too, because these would be some tips that might help them as well. All right, now remember, laughter, it really is the best medicine. So let's get out there, and together we can make happiness happen. All right, we'll see you next time. As always, thank you so much for tuning into the Make Happiness Happen podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you're subscribed wherever you listen to podcasts. And even better, leave a positive review. If you want to dive deeper into the topics and discussions we have here, I would encourage you to head over to makehappinesshappen.com and sign up for my newsletter. It's the best way for us to get to know each other even better. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time on the Make Happiness Happen podcast.